Okay, welcome to the Town of Deerfield Selectboard Board of Health Sewer Commissioners meeting for December 17th, 2025. The time is 6 p.m. This is a hybrid meeting on Zoom and in the main meeting room at 8 Conway Street, South Deerfield, Mass. This meeting will be held in a hybrid fashion with the opportunity for both in-person attendance and remote participation. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and or participation is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting or hearing will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with a particular interest in any specific item on this agenda should make plans for in-person versus virtual attendance accordingly. The meeting will be held in person in the main meeting room at Deerfield Municipal Offices. In accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, anyone intending to record the meeting must identify themselves to the clerk and provide their name and address for the record. So I'll call the meeting to order. We do have public comment as well. So I think when we get to, I know we're discussing and probably voting on the entertainment license for Treehouse. So if people want to talk on that subject, I will allow public comment on that section of the agenda. But if there's any other items that people want to talk about beforehand, any other who want to address the board or any other questions, you could raise your hand or come up to the mic. And seeing none, we'll just keep rolling forward. So we have one appearance, Ken Ellenstein, regarding a proposed nicotine-free generation policy in Deerfield, is here in attendance. Great. Yes, please come up, introduce yourself. You have to pretty much eat the microphone, so right up close to you for people on Zoom. That'd be great.
Is it flavored from Sugarloaf?
It is.
Okay.
So welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here. I'm Ken Ellenstein. I'm a member of the Board of Health in Belchtown.
Okay.
I'm previously on the Select Board. I was past president of the County Select Boards Association.
Great.
So I'm here to talk to you about tonight about nicotine-free generation. In a nutshell, nicotine-free generation is a policy that have now been adopted by 21 cities and towns in Massachusetts with total populations of over 627,000 people. And what it does is, instead of using the state and national minimum age in which tobacco sales can be made at age 21, it instead sets a date. It does not affect any current nicotine user. It does not affect the merchants to sell to any of their customers. But for example, in Belchtown, we passed it exactly a year ago, December 2024. Went into effect January 1st. And so we set an effective date of January 1st, 2004, which meant that people the last January who had reached the age of 21 could no longer be sold nicotine in Belchtown. We have 10 vendors in Belchtown. And so far, I can tell you, I have not heard any pushback at all about it, which is kind of astonishing. When you're on the Board of Health, you hear, and Select Board, you hear pushback on everything.
Yeah.
In particular, the turnover, the conversion with the merchants was essentially free from any issues. They needed new signage, which we provided, saying that it's a date rather than the year. Mm-hmm. Since that time, a number of other communities here in the Pioneer Valley have passed it. Conway, Leverett here in Franklin County. Town of Amherst is the most recent. South Hadley. And there are a number of other towns also around here that are actively considering it. Buckland and Shelburne had a joint meeting, I guess it was in November. They're going to pick up with it again in January. I have an appointment with Northampton, Montague. So it's really taking off, and not only here, but in other parts of the states as well. I just, in the last 7 days, spoke before two boards in nearby Worcester County. I guess everybody knows that nicotine addiction causes great harm, cancer, heart disease, strokes, and then various things that may not be fatal, like macular degeneration, blindness, and things like that. I think that try to find the quote. Yeah. The best quote I have heard on this topic, this is a sign that is appearing on convenience store windows in Connecticut. We went down there during Thanksgiving weekend. What it says on here is, quote, "A primary way youth get access to tobacco products is from consumers of legal age." Youth get access to tobacco products from consumers of legal age. Now, the surprising thing is that the entity that wrote this, that signed this, is Philip Morris USA and 2 other subsidiaries of Altria. I could not have said it better myself, because the reality is that the majority of people, something like 80–90% of people, start nicotine addiction either as teens or even preteens. I mean, you probably, in the middle school here, have 8 or 10% of your students vaping right now. And what this does is, but nicotine-free generation does, and we've had success with it, is it increases the distance between youth and legal age. A 26-year-old is not hanging out with 14-year-olds, but 21-year-olds are hanging out with 18-year-olds. We were particularly happy that this passed in town of Amherst, because they have 26,000 undergraduates, almost all of whom are under age 21, and they're interacting every day with 21-year-old legal purchases. I can tell you on a personal level, my grandfather died when he was 49 years old of cancer. I never met him. He never met me. Bad as that was, because they had spent their entire life savings on his health care. My widowed grandmother and my 12-year-old mother were pushed into poverty, which really affected their entire lives from that point on. And what we're trying to do here is prevent that from happening for people here. I do want to say, because we all know, many of our friends, many of our neighbors look at everything through a very partisan lens. And this is nonpartisan, or if you prefer, bipartisan. When the town of Needham first passed Tobacco 21, all by themselves, only place in the United States, maybe the only place in the world, in 2003, it took more than 6 years before a second town in Massachusetts passed it. But there's really good academic research that shows that even though anybody could walk across the border to any of their neighboring towns to buy cigarettes, mostly in those days, it cut the teen and preteen nicotine use by 50%. So what happened? 6 years later, the second town in Massachusetts passed it, and many more passed it. There are 351 municipalities in Massachusetts. 175 of them were needed before the state legislature got its act in order and passed it in Massachusetts, the first state to do it. Passed by the Democratic-dominated legislature, signed by Republican Governor Charlie Baker. A few years later, with bipartisan support in Congress, a bill to make Tobacco 21 the law of the entire country passed, and in December 2020 it was signed by President Trump. This is not Democrats or Republicans. This is bipartisan, and we're out there to try to prevent as many kids from getting addicted as we can. So, as I said, it's really beginning to take off, and I hope you join us and consider amending your tobacco regulations to do that, and then go through whatever process. And I look forward to coming back and speaking again.
Thank you. Have you has your organization also thought about alcohol?
Okay, well, first of all, we don't have an organization. We're a bunch
Oh, okay.
We're a
I
bunch
just-
of very informal volunteers.
Okay,
We've
I know
kind
how
of
that works.
decided setting up an organization starts to get really
Yeah.
messy. I mean, one person says something stupid to a newspaper reporter, and then the whole organization's in trouble.
Sounds like you've been in politics before.
Before most of you were born, probably, my first campaign was, I was 12 years old, distributing flyers for Massachusetts Senator named John Kennedy.
Yeah, good work.
Let's see.
Just
Now
wondered
you've
if you
taken me off.
thought about-
yeah, alcohol. This is different. We're not talking about anything
No,
else other than
I know.
nicotine-free
I'm just saying,
degenerate.
like, it's
alcohol.
also
Alcohol in the 1920s
devastating.
and 30s was really quite different.
Yeah.
If that's what your question
No,
is.
no, I'm.
Oh, you mean now?
It's just as devastating.
Yes.
To families and poverty, and I just wondered, why.
haven't
this
done
versus-
it.
all
Haven't
right.
done it.
Haven't
And
done it yet.
I'm just to finish that point. In the 1920s and 30s, because we hear some of the supporters of big tobacco
Mm-hmm.
at these hearings compare it to that. The big difference there was it took away a habit and a right and a social interaction
Yeah.
in the 1920s, or teens, I guess,
Yeah.
that they were already used to. This will not remove a single legal nicotine addict from obtaining it. So it's a very slow, very gradual, and I think the lack of pushback is because it's had such a marginal effect.
Yeah.
You talk about alcohol. I know that Kratom, which we also banned in Belchtown, by the way.
What-
Kratom,
Kratom.
Kratom. It's the natural thing is a leaf that comes from Indonesia,
Oh,
and there's a synthetic version.
I've heard of that. Something
And
a
it's
different
now
name,
been, we were
though.
the first town in Massachusetts to pass. It's now been passed by something like 5 others, and I
Yeah.
just met my own state senator, Jake Olivera, last night. He says
Hello,
there's
Jake.
a good chance it'll pass the legislature.
Yeah.
Different products. There's a lot of bad stuff out there.
There is.
And this one is being handled really carefully because big in nicotine, I guess, is probably the biggest of the biggest of the group. But
Yeah. Okay.
I have a couple of handouts.
I'd love them. We'd love to do some
This
research.
is. I'll hold it up to the camera. These pictures were taken in a legal tobacco.
How fun. Nice kids' toys.
Legal tobacco dealer in Massachusetts. And what you see is these are vapes, and supposedly they're not selling to young people. Remember the quote I had there from Philip Morris.
Yeah.
The teddy bear is really intended for 45-year-olds, right?
Sure. Sure.
And the
Well,
one I
kids never
picked
grow
out
up.
in particular, and these are vapes which you can put music on, and while you're vaping. I mean, technology in the 21st century is so amazing.
It's only getting worse.
The bottom right corner, there's that thing, frozen peach. And
Yes.
all nicotine sales that involve flavors are illegal in Massachusetts, except, I guess, flavored peach in this particular dealer. One of the
Yeah.
dealers told us in Belchtown, well, we just think the wholesalers won't send us anything that's illegal. Yeah,
Sure, I
this
won't.
was an exception. I also have another handout, and this is just I don't know if I had forwarded to you before. It's a quick Q&A.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Oh,
did get
no,
that.
we don't have the
Oh,
Q&A.
I'll-
We do
I'll
have
give
your
that
first,
to you.
kind of a cover letter
Yeah.
in,
And we probably should be updating it.
is this the one?
Yeah, we have this.
Oh, we do have this. Okay, good. Yeah, all right. Thank you.
At least I did my homework once.
Yes,
Okay.
nice job. Great. Well, thank you.
Anybody watching? There you go. See
Yep.
that teddy bear? We really appreciate it.
Yes, and then a guitar.
Perfect for Christmas.
Thank you, Ken.
Thanks a lot.
Really appreciate the information and your work. All right. Any select board reports, announcements you want to hit on? At the moment, I don't think we're going to see everybody before holiday, so wish everybody a great holiday season with your families. Be safe. No drinking and driving. I know the police, I did see the message, they're putting up some stop areas, so that shouldn't be the only reason you don't do it. I'm just saying. Please don't. But I hope you all enjoy time with your families and take a minute to slow down in this busy, crazy world and enjoy some time with your families. Let's see. I know that just we're doing some walkthroughs at the 112 Amherst Road for the possible senior center building. I saw there's a dinosaur out there holding a whiteboard with some dates and times. So if you want to go and see what the building looks like, that's available. And that's it. So do you have anything you want to hit on?
No.
Okay. Blake, you're good? Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, thank you. We have a Board of Health. Any discussions here? I know we have a first reading for the draft Board of Health fats, oils, and grease, which is the FOG, subsurface disposal sanitary sewer regulations pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 111, Section 31. I saw this on. Yeah, Ned's here. Hey, Ned, how are you? Good to see you.
Hey, good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Yeah, and Trevor, we might even want to just hold off on that one until Alex Galloway is with us. She's going to be hopping on from the Community Preservation Committee meeting in a little bit.
Sounds good.
And I know she's been working with Ned on advancing those, so she may want to say something about it.
We'll definitely hold on that then. So then we can just do our minutes real quick and then move on. So make a motion here to get motions. I move that the Select Board approve the meeting minutes of December 3rd, 2025, December 10th, 2025, and December 10th, 2025 tax classification hearing minutes as presented.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion or changes? All those in favor?
Blake Gilmore, aye. Tim Hilchey, aye.
Trevor McDaniel, aye. Thank you very much. It's nice to see us caught up again, as usual. And then I don't see Alex on yet, so we can do this after. So that's done. That's done. So we could get into the discussion and action items to vote on Treehouse Brewing Company's 2026 entertainment license and conditions of approval. Welcome, Sarah. How are you?
Hi.
Good to see you.
I'll try to do the microphone better this week.
Chris, do you want to give just an update of where you're at? I know
Yeah,
you guys have been
absolutely.
meeting a bunch and helping on this.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've also got Alex Castro from Town Council on Zoom with us tonight.
Welcome, Alex.
Back,
Good to see you.
back in, I think, November, we had an initial kind of meeting where there was an opportunity for residents just let us know how they were feeling about Treehouse and the outdoor concert program. And then, earlier this month, we met with Treehouse in a select board meeting and heard a little bit of that perspective as well. We've since had an opportunity to draft some conditions for the approval of the entertainment license. I've circulated those this week between Treehouse and our public safety personnel, and of course some other staff here. So we think we've got a pretty good draft list, which was included in your packets.
Yes.
I'll just hit some highlights, kind of reiterating from the special permit as amended for Treehouse on the time for concerts to conclude. A couple blackout dates that we talked about with Sarah last time, just to make sure first night of school isn't an issue for folks.
Right.
And then also some potential limitations on concerts in September. Maybe having an earlier stop time for those and limiting the number of concerts as well.
Yep.
And then to Greg's work, obviously we're going to have Klondike, making sure they're adhering by the WHO standards for safe listening, and then also, working on basically a sound study to make sure that they can try and pinpoint some areas where there are ways to reduce the bass reverberations that are really causing the most kind of concern in the community.
Yeah.
So they're going to, at least the condition we have right now is for them to report back after this concert season and let us know, what solutions they've identified to mitigate those problems. And then just last two items on here, requirement for an emergency/event action plan or operations plan to be signed off on with our public safety personnel. This is something we've consistently asked of Treehouse, and they've been good partners in working with our public safety to make sure those events are safe. And then it has some additional, language around that. So I think, Sarah, you had brought up you had some questions for the board or some suggestions on these conditions, but just wanted to kind of set the table there for everyone.
Yeah.
Chris, I'm not sure, do I have the same language that the select board is looking at? That
you should, yeah, yep,
okay.
Yep.
I just want to make sure we're speaking off the same doc. Well, I would thank Chris and Greg again for working with Treehouse over the past month or so we gain a full appreciation for the feedback received from the residents in that discussion, from the select board, from public safety, and I very much thank you and commend you and let this board know that as a business operating in the town, your town administrator and assistant town administrator have I think been doing the good work on behalf of the community. So thank you again for that, and in the spirit of collaboration, because we all would like to see businesses be successful and also be an amenity and a community gathering place. That's definitely the spirit of collaboration that we're coming with, and I thank everyone for that thus far. We've worked through several of these points, so if I'm looking at the same language that you are, number 1 and 2, absolutely understood.
Yeah.
The blackout dates, we get it. I think let it be known that I have 4 kids and have all the times been through that. I totally understand that, and we have plenty of parents that work with Treehouse and understand that plight of the transition back. So the good thing is we're early enough that when we get to put offers out for booking, these are blackout dates. Everybody in the system and talent booking knows that is happening.
Thank you.
No, it's completely understandable and reasonable, and something knowing this early that we can do.
Yeah.
Number 3, as we discussed previously, we lease this stage. We have it for June, July, August. But we would also like the opportunity, if one should arise, that we get to do something spectacular or really appealing to the community and folks that visit and come from far and wide, that we can do shows in September. Understood the desire to limit to the 2 shows. As a practical matter, I just don't think that that's going to happen, the circumstances we had last year. So certainly we understand that as a condition of approvals. The 9:30 that I saw in this language, the challenge the Treehouse has with that, and again, we don't have anything booked. We're planning on packing up the stage. But the challenge with that is that we would then possibly lose out on acts that require an opener. We've all been to shows, they like to warm up the crowd. And some of the more desirable acts would really like that. And so that would mean we'd have to close our tap room earlier, which would cut off access on those dates to the general public that did not get a chance to buy a ticket to the show. And I know it sounds like, just that hour is, going from the 10:30 to the 9:30. It's just a domino effect. So in speaking with the team, I believe we can still fit in the option for an opener if it's a 10 o'clock cutout. But truly, and I've said this all along, like we all want to go home. We want these shows
Yeah.
to conclude. We appreciate, if there's weather delay and people show up, we want to give them what they've asked for.
Sure.
But that hour actually does make a significant difference in terms of our ability to book certain acts. So, and hypothetically, because we're planning on setting the stage back.
I think the hard part for us is really, it's around that school. It's the beginning of school, and, with music going and loud, people can hear, feel, at 10 o'clock at night, that's really tough in that first section of school. So that's why we really wanted to bring it in a little bit to 9:30, which is, still late for kids that are parents are trying to get their kids down. But, if they're still playing at, 15 after 10, and it's, I think that's when we got most of the calls and could really understand from the residents how difficult it was.
So my ask is just meet in the middle. We're
Yeah.
coming from 10:30, 9:30, and I really do understand, and we are talking about this hypothetical
Correct.
scenario, but the
Yep.
dominoes and then prohibiting us from certain opportunities that I think
Yeah.
the community
And it-
would benefit from,
and it
it
also-
would just in case.
It also depends on the act, right? Some it's, we don't get a call on, and others, are really loud, and it's like, or not, I shouldn't say really loud, but just are the more ones that drive that phone call more than others. So your request, okay, so we can come back to that.
And then there was some language about review of contracts. That seems unusual, at least in my experience. Our contracts are kind of a network of talent booker, musicians, ticket brokers, insurance companies.
Yeah,
Is that something that has been
that on?
removed?
Yeah, second line of the third condition there.
I would just ask us to, we will comply with orders of conditions, of course. I
Yep.
would ask that we are able to have our vendor relations be our responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in my reading, this is specifically to anything that happens in September.
Correct. Yep,
This is-
that's the intention.
Yeah, this is not, we don't want to see your contracts throughout the whole season. It's like we want to make sure that the bands understand that they've got this WHO requirement and any other sound mitigating things that apply. So I could let Alex Costa speak about that if he has a thought, but
My thought was you just, I guess the idea is to just let us know that was in the contract, and I think everything else could be omitted, correct? I mean, I don't need to know anything.
I don't need to know if you have a green room or a red room or a purple room for inner talent to, just basically want to make sure that the bands are aware that we've had sound noise issues that we're trying to mitigate. And
So confirmation that we have,
Relayed that info.
yes, and
Yes.
that we've made that commitment
Yes.
with the bands.
Yeah.
I think that
Nothing
that
else we
accomplishes,
don't need.
But this language says review of contract,
Right.
and that seems highly
Yeah,
unusual.
we
and-
could wordsmith that for sure to clean that up, I would think. Alex, did I just?
Yeah, I mean, unusual though it may be, I mean, it is within the board's authority. And then again, I would just say, who knows what's in them, if you want to take again, you have no say in the contract between Treehouse and whoever the entertainer is, but
Right.
there's nothing wrong with you having a gander at it to see what's going on there, and it's perfectly within your authority under the statute.
So really, for me, it's just to make sure that you've had that conversation. And maybe we can work.
I'll do some wordsmithing while the conversation continues.
Sounds
How about that?
Thank you. Thank you.
And then on the fourth point,
Yep.
if you would like, I
Sure,
can respond or.
Yeah, let's go, go down each line. Yeah.
So on the fourth point, great call about the sound engineer. My suggestion for this is that we also insert and/or production manager, because that's an additional person that touches that. And so we're saying this because we want to make sure that you know that there are options for multiple eyes and multiple people.
Yeah.
It's not just this one role. So if you don't want to include it, that is fine, but
What was
I'm
you
offering
said
that
production manager?
up. Yes.
Okay, and I think that.
Yeah, I think we just added that.
You
'cause-
added it?
Yep.
Okay, good. Yep, so we've got it. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I'm just, if the
Yep.
question comes up and it happens to be a production manager that is answering for this on
Sure,
that given time,
sure.
I think it's just more inclusive for
Yep.
the language here. And then I feel like maybe, Greg, you're probably better to explain this to me, but
I'm so sorry. Would you mind just speaking a little louder? I know I'm remote and I
Certainly.
appreciate it.
Hi, sorry about that.
That was perfect. So sorry. Thank you so
No,
much.
not at all. We're talking about number 5, and that study. So we brought out Klondike last week, and I'm not in the position to talk all the science that we
Right.
discussed last week, but to summarize, based on some white papers, some different studies, discussions with Greg and John Sanders and with Klondike, we talked about a new array for the subwoofers,
Yeah.
and I'm going to stop myself there going any deeper.
Right.
But that is how we will be opening the season. Knowing that there's a myriad of conditions that can change on that night at that hour, some of the, I guess, impact or feel, but we're really looking at what is the word? That low frequency propagation. Thank you. I'm going to get an expert at this. And so we are willing and we are investing further resources to not just set it and forget it.
Right.
But I will say this isn't, we're doing a Tetris Lego set every week because the conditions could be different. We will continue to make our best efforts. We intend to be the best neighbors we possibly can be. We want to be as reasonable as possible, and we do value the residents of this town.
Sure.
So absolutely not ignoring that. There was some language in here that said sound study before the season starts. We need to try this new array in order to study that. And our plan was, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I think that language was like, we thought you would set it up as best you
Yep.
could and then work it for a while, and then we would have something for the following season, right? 27, is that correct?
Yeah, I think, and Sarah's going over ground, I think we managed to cover between the two of us. So yeah, that
Okay.
issue has been addressed.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you.
Yep.
So I think what I'm
Working
reiterating is that
together.
we're making a change. I analyzed it quite extensively, and Treehouse is committed to, if we need to make those changes and adjustments and invest some more resources for that, we will do so.
Thank you. That's great.
And then number 6, I wanted to, asking to add the word ticketed events, just because it's got events. We have an occupancy of that space, and people hopefully will walk in and Christmas
Yeah.
and have their Christmas parties and all of those things. A very big space, very big
Right.
campus. And our days are people coming in and out all day. So with the ticketed event, it starts at this time, and it's just a different scenario
Right.
where you would have a traffic detail. So
Yeah.
I would ask that we add ticketed events
I-
because it's just
we've
different
done
than
that
a
too, right?
Saturday.
Correct, yeah.
Got
Public
that.
Yeah, we're good
public
with that.
safety
We have
is-
that.
Excellent,
Yep.
thank you.
Good.
And forgive me if this is all been
No,
worked
it's
out
okay.
already.
It's good to cover it. Yeah.
And then lastly, we look forward to working with public safety. Have some initial comments, all of which that I think that we'll be able to review. It'd be great if we can all get in the room at the same time, different people that weigh in and sign off on the EOP or EAP.
Yep.
And we would like very much to have that conversation maybe the first week. I know it's holidays, everyone has families and
Yeah.
lives, but we'd like to have that sooner than later, because we may be in a little bit of a holding pattern,
Right.
and I want to be able to,
Move it along.
release and meet the commitments and have this be a robust fruitful slate for this season, from
Yeah.
our employees to the residents and the community.
Sure. That sounds great. I think we
I
can
think
manage
that's
that.
all for me.
Good. That sounds good. So,
Just
Cool,
to,
please.
just to clarify on condition 5,
yes?
is that the subwoofer array, the dual subwoofer sort of cardio array, that is a part of the study. So just
Yes.
so people are clear that that's a part of what's going on, is that you can set up your arrays, try them out, see where the null points are, see where it's, where, if it's actually
Working.
directed where you want it to go.
Adjust.
And adjust, over time. And it could be, just me touching base with Klondike a month later when it's a little bit
Yeah.
warmer and just saying, I'm going to drive around, let's talk.
Yes.
And see how this is working. And
Yep.
we'll, keep checking into it on a continual basis.
Yes,
great.
and Klondike knows that that's part of the contract for
Great.
Yeah.
this year.
Perfect.
Is those check-ins. So thank you, Greg.
Yeah, great. Well, I think, I'm trying to think, well, maybe I would take public comment, and then I'll make a motion on the item. So I'll take public comment for a time, if anyone has things to say. Then I'll make a motion on the conditions for the license, and then we'll vote.
And I would just also hasten to add, we do have a couple items on here that Sarah had asked about tweaking, and so I don't know if the board wants to consider that, but just
Correct.
to throw that
That
in
was
there.
the 10 o'clock versus the 9:30, right, after, in the September timeframe, right? I think that was the one item that you had asked about.
That was to add production manager.
Yeah,
Yep, we got that.
Thank
Yep,
you.
we've done that.
And
ticketed
add
events.
ticketed
Yep,
events.
and those are there.
And then I did some wordsmithing while you were talking. So I updated condition 3, the second line, to say, evidence that the contract between the licensee and the performer reflects this requirement, so that is the 9:30 requirement for now, shall be submitted to the select board prior to the
Okay.
event. I hope that gives us a little bit more wiggle room, so
Yeah.
we're not,
Yeah.
doesn't feel like we're breaking open your
Yeah.
entire contract.
And
Yeah.
we would be, that's something we'd be able to provide as soon as we had, if we had
You had
a
a-
booking for
yes.
that. But again, to reiterate that we would be asking for that 10 o'clock.
Yes. Alex, did you have a comment there? I thought you were.
No, see, I like Chris's revision.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, we'll start with public comment. I see Matt Tuttle, you have your hand up. You can, I don't think it.
Yes, I did.
The mic.
Um,
Welcome.
I'm wondering if it's possible, Matt Tuttle, 1 Whately Road. I'm wondering if it's possible to add any specificity to point 5 or condition 5 to really detail the cardioid array. I think in the past, and from Sarah herself, we've been told that things would happen, and then regarding the concert frequency, and Treehouse has gone back on that. So I wonder if we can put those conditions into the actual license renewal this year. Additionally, the cardioid subwoofer array seems somewhat directionally effective. So is it possible to specify that the stage has to be pointed at the least inhabited area rather than, closer homes? I know that it seems that being downrange, directly downrange from the stage, the cardioid array seems to be less effective as opposed to on the sides or the rear of the stage. So I'm wondering if that can be added into the condition.
So just from my point of view, I wouldn't want to specify anything particular, because this is going to be a work in progress as we're adjusting. So I wouldn't want to say this many feet out, this many, this direction here, until we kind of get it in and get feedback from residents as that's coming in, and from the study and the people who are looking at it to say, hey, this is working, this isn't working. I think we have a commitment that you are planning to adjust, and we're planning to adjust, and I'm sure we're going to hear from people as it's going on, and we want to hear good or bad, or however it's changed from one year to the other, so we know what we're doing is working. But it'd be hard to, I think it'd be hard to specify exactly how that's going to happen at the moment.
If I may, I just also wanted to reiterate what was described in the last meeting, and I think in conversations last season, is that the changing conditions that are beyond Treehouse's control and the variance between, I guess, the impact from date to date, and it's incredibly weather dependent. So,
That's what it'd be.
as I said, every single show we can't say, well, this night, no, we're going to take this whole thing and put it down. But
Right.
we are absolutely committed to continue to make those tweaks, as you had our sound engineer last week.
Yep. Thank you. Any other public comments? Hearing none, I'll read the motion. I might need a little help on two because I don't have that, but I'll or on three. Second sentence of three. So I move the Select Board approve the 2026 entertainment license for Treehouse Brewing Company on the following conditions. One, in keeping with the written decision by the Deerfield Zoning Board of Appeals dated August 18, 2021, recorded with the Franklin County Registry of Deeds as Book 7867, page 65, on October 5th, 2021, the licensee shall conclude all outdoor concerts by 10:30 p.m. The licensee shall hold no outdoor concerts on Wednesday, August 26th or Thursday, August 27th, 2026. That was two. Number three, should the licensee hold outdoor concerts after August 31st of 2026, these events shall conclude no later than 10 p.m. Evidence contracts between the licensee and the performer reflecting this requirement shall be submitted to the Select Board prior to the event, unless, and any other, I think that's about what you have, right?
That was perfect.
Okay,
Yep.
great. Unless otherwise approved by the Select Board, outdoor concerts held in 2026 after August 31st shall be limited to no more than 2 per week. 4, the licensee's sound engineer and or production manager operating the public address or PA system for outdoor concerts shall make all reasonable efforts to adhere to the sound level recommendations set forth in the, quote, World Health Organization's, WHO, global standard for safe listening venues and events, quotes. 5, the licensee's contracted PA company shall conduct a sound study to determine effectiveness, means of mitigating low-frequency sound waves propagation during outdoor concerts, and report to the Select Board on the results of this study and appropriate measures to lessen the impact of low-frequency sound waves prior to renewal of this license for the 2027 outdoor concert session. 6, the ticketed events with attendance in excess of 600 persons shall be contingent upon execution of an event emergency operations plan, the EOP, approved by the Deerfield Emergency Management Director, Deerfield Police Chief, South Deerfield Fire District Chief, South County EMS Chief, Deerfield Board of Health Agent, and Deerfield Building Commissioner. 7, said plan shall be approved no less than 120 days prior to the season's first outdoor concert. Should the EOP fail to be executed by such time, the Select Board may, at their discretion, limit events for the season under 1,500 attendees and or approve a plan unilaterally. Said plan shall take into account the Select Board conditions of approval for any alterations of premises dated April 11th, 2023, and conditions of approval for amendments to the licensee's farmer brewery pour permit dated December 27th, 2023. Do I have a second?
For purposes of discussion, second.
Thank you. And discussion.
I was wondering why, as far as the beginning of the season, when is that going to start?
Oh, do you have a?
June.
A June.
The stage is coming, and our plan is June, July, and August.
So are we talking June 1st? We talking the middle of June? What are we talking?
Yes, June 1st.
June 1st is when
Okay,
the stage
so-
is set up.
We still have kids in school during that time period as well. I mean, are we still going to take into consideration the time element for that?
I had the sense that by June, they're wrapping up class and, I guess it depends on number of snow days and all that kind of stuff and where they are in their curriculum, but usually I didn't think June was as impactful on, people are already in a routine and they're winding down their classes and they're, I didn't think it was as impactful as like that shock of the end of summer and giving up on your freedom and going back to the regime of school and parents stressed about getting everybody ready. But I'm open to hearing any other opinions on it, but I didn't think it was as important for like concert end time or something like that. But
Greg, was there any comments during the month of June, or were they mostly during the summer months?
Yeah, actually, yes. Most of the feedback came in July and August. There were far less people calling in June, especially in the beginning of June.
And the other thing that I'd like to ask is how many concerts, when there's no restriction, will they be doing per week? This goes back to Treehouse.
yeah, what are you thinking?
So
we
as
haven't put a
I
limit on it.
understand it, the way the bookings go is you put out X number of offers, and you have to be prepared to host these shows, so you don't double book on the
Right.
same day. But you also have to be prepared that a good number of them will not be able to, or we don't meet their occupancy threshold and all the kind of financials beyond that. So at this moment, we couldn't say, we're going to have X number of shows, because we don't know how many offers we're going to have accepted. It is our desire and actual need to have a robust slate in order to support a program. And our business plan is not just hold a few events. We're trying to make this a part, an important part of music in this region where there really is a void. So that is a long way of saying I do not have that number right now, but we are making our best efforts to be a bright spot in this community and have a place for music and people that enjoy it.
So from a practical standpoint, you haven't booked on Fridays and Saturdays because typically national or international acts can play larger venues on the weekends, and so they're typically not available. Is that correct?
I am aware that is a big consideration.
And
yes.
So from a practical standpoint, we're talking about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So potential of, if you booked every night, there would be 4 concerts in a particular week, but more typically we've seen 2 concerts, sometimes 3, but more rarely 3. You anticipate having a similar profile this year? I know I'm not asking you to commit.
Can you throw a dart for us?
I don't mean to keep giving
No,
the
I
same
understand.
answer, but I also don't want to be disingenuous, and we've got a great group of professionals that are trying to put together a diverse group of acts to cater to a wider array of people. So everyone is invited to Treehouse, all concert goers, and at this time we don't have that locked in.
Thank you.
Well, 13 weeks, 3 concerts a week is 39 concerts is, if you're lucky, just as an idea, I guess. roughly. So less than 39, maybe? Who knows? Something like that.
Just because I think it's relevant here, I think the special permit limited them to 100 or fewer, so,
Yeah.
so you're not up against that yet.
We're not up against that.
No.
Yeah, definitely not the intent.
Yeah, just kind of, that's a lot of work for everybody.
Our staff would be grateful to.
You'd be looking for
put
staff.
them-
yeah. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion from the board?
Just want to take a quick gander at calendar for
Sure.
2026. I'm just trying to think about, Blake's point of, in June, I know it's impossible for us to, we know that the school is planning to close by June X date, barring snow. Whether there's any logic to saying, if that date is June 10th, that we tell them any concerts before June 10 need to stop at 10 o'clock. If snow days ensue and they've already planned their roster, then those limitations might go away. This is just an idea.
Well, I think, Tim, the thing is, everybody, Trevor was talking about winding down. We've got finals during that time period as well. So there is some times where the kids have to have their time to finish up whatever the projects they have and that sort of thing. So I think it's, like you said, maybe not as crucial as when they're starting school, but there's still a time period that we have to kind of check in and make sure that we're not disrupting the school year, basically. And the only thing I've got to say is Greg's going to be the one that's going to tell us how that mitigation of the sound and everything else is going to take place over the summer months so that we know that there's going to be a smoother transition between concerts and that we're not going to be standing out there all summer long because of the complaints, correct?
What are you asking, Blake?
Exactly. yeah.
You know what I'm asking.
You're asking me to create miracles?
Yeah.
I will help with the sound for sure. Concerts have a particular volume. We'll do our best. I will work with Klondike to do our best to help mitigate the sound.
So my question to that is, are you going to be on site during some of these concerts to actually be able to check on what's happening?
Yes, just as I was this past summer. Yeah, I will be
All
on
right.
site for some of these.
I'm sure I'll be joining you.
That would be nice, Blake.
So, are somebody making a motion for the spring till the 10th, or are we just going to see how it goes and adjust it as needed?
Maybe that's a point of adjustment that we say, look, it would only affect 2 or 3, possibly 4. But I feel like, this is a meeting and halfway point as well. We don't know how many snow days are going to be, if there are going to be any snow days. But, one of the things that I was interested in getting Treehouse's agreement on is concerts, adjustments. If there's going to be a concert on a school night, there should be some adjustment. And we've managed to do that at the end of the season. So maybe this is something we see how this season goes, and next.
Maybe if we can just get the word that, if we do still have school in session, that they try to abide by what we're doing in the fall, and then if it comes down to it that they get out early, then after that, all bets are off. They can handle it however they do for the regular season.
I guess just my comments were, when speaking with the superintendent, he was not as concerned at the end of this year, but I hear you about the finals, that kind of thing. So it's really, if somebody wants to make a motion or to amend this, we can do that, or, we can- again,
I'm not even sure how to amend it because it would be a floating type.
yeah,
Setup.
you can't do that
I am inclined to say, let's revisit this
for next season.
next season and
Yep.
see. I mean, I'm optimistic, and as I always am when businesses come, that they're going to work with the town, and Treehouse has done that, maybe less successfully than some people would like, but
Worked hard.
this is a major change in how they've been willing to cooperate with us. So,
Yeah.
let's go with this, and then see how it goes.
And Sarah, you know what we're trying to achieve, and I know as you talk with other people, I think you'll relay that message that, we're trying to be good neighbors, and it's really around the school night kind of thing is the hard part, mostly, so.
May I ask a question?
Of course.
I heard the discussion, but I believe there has not been a change to the motion.
There has not.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I was just gonna, if this helps, I was looking at the season for this last summer. They had about six concerts in June,
Oh, okay.
12 in July,
Yep.
9 in August, and 4 in September.
Okay.
So that gives you a sort of a breakdown, and that most of them are happening in July and August.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yep. Thank you. That helps. Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Blake Elmore, aye.
Tim Wiltshire, aye.
Trevor McDaniel, aye. Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you all for
Appreciate
your
you.
Thank you
time.
for working with us, and look forward to continuing that
Absolutely.
collaboration.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone.
With,
Thanks, Alex.
thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Alex.
Really appreciate
Take
your
care.
help. Yep, have a good night. Have a nice holiday.
So just note, Alex has joined us, the other
Oh, great.
Alex, not the
Hey,
other
Alex.
Alex.
How are you? Welcome.
Hey,
So we're going to take a look at the first reading, the draft Board of Health fats, oils, and grease subsurface disposal of sanitary sewage regulations pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 111, Section 31. So you've been helping with that, and we just get your feedback.
yeah, I mean, this is a pretty standard template. We ran it through Ned, Eric Meals, DPW, Superintendent Matt Morse.
Great.
It's really the same base document and guidelines that most other towns in Western Mass have used. Ned compared it with some of his
Great.
prior work experiences, and everyone is like, yeah, they're pretty standard. I don't think it'll take any businesses by surprise or anything. So.
And I think our companies, our restaurants and stuff do, obviously now you already inspect grease traps and all, correct? Ned, I think when
Yeah.
you do, yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yep.
I do. I make them keep a calendar of how often they're cleaning them. Like,
Right.
just to check it off, so I know they're being done.
Yep,
Not all of them are on board yet, but we're getting there.
okay. This will
Every
help.
time I inspect, I remind them, and, it is a violation if they don't, so,
This will help with that, obviously,
yeah.
because there is,
And I'll make sure all the restaurants get a copy hand delivered,
yep.
so they know of any changes.
And this, no, I had a question. The effective date was August 12th of 2025, but is that?
I think that's highlighted, so likely wherever we got these from, that was the effective date.
I
But this
gotcha,
would be-
okay.
Yeah, this would, be some point in January or
Yeah.
or February of
Okay.
2026.
Perfect, so those will just get updated. Great. Yeah, I read through it. The first offense was a written warning, the second offense was a $100 fine, $250, $500. So it was just kind of an escalating fine structure, but I think the whole idea is education and compliance is always our key.
Right, and I think the fine structure will help motivate them.
Yeah. It might be cheaper doing that than paying the fines, right?
Mm.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I should have explained process-wise. This is cited in our sewer regs that we're publishing and working effective January 1, but then this is just a first reading, and so we'll actually have to do a formal public hearing and 2 weeks of noticing before we adopt them. And at that point, then we can set that effective date for these regulations to go into
Perfect.
place. So apologies.
No, that's fine. Thank you. Thank you. And I know we're still working on the industrial permit too.
Yeah.
As part of that regulation. So, great.
Is part of the intent of this to protect the really expensive wastewater treatment facility that we recently built?
Great point.
Yeah, I mean, this was partially prompted by, we did have an event where there was, I think, a greaseberg or something
Yeah.
like that in one of the wastewater treatment plants, and just so we want to make sure that, obviously, the person, the entity that was responsible for it took full responsibility and worked with our wastewater treatment plant team to address it, but we just want to have these in place so it's clear from the outset for any restaurants, et cetera.
Great.
Great.
Sounds good. Okay.
Thanks, Ned. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, thank you for your work. Really appreciate your work on this.
No problem.
Okay, moving on.
I didn't mean to dismiss anyone.
Nope.
You're welcome to stay.
Yeah, you're welcome to stay if you want.
Yeah.
So the next
Have a
item.
good night, everyone.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Ned.
much.
Have a good night, Ned.
You too.
The next action item is to vote on award of surplus property disposition tax map 169, lot 186, approximately plus or minus 0.184 acre parcel on Jewett Ave in South Deerfield to Orifal Americas Inc. in the amount of $50,000. So I guess I should have just read the motion. It would have been a little easier. So I move the select board award the disposition of surplus property tax map 169, lot 186, a less than 1 acre parcel on Jewett Ave in South Deerfield to Orifal Americas Inc. in the amount of $50,000 as recommended. Have a second?
Second for discussion.
Thank you. So this is the, if people remember, this is the barn that the DPW used as storage before our new DPW building was built. There used to be a garage, and then this was kind of like storage up behind it. And so we've kept DPW material in there. I think we still have a few things to take out of there. And then when Orifal bought the house that was on Sugarloaf Street, they took that down, and this kind of barn was kind of stuck landlocked there, and so we looked to find a way to mark it as surplus property and dispose of it. And we put out an RFP through FERCog, and we have a bid.
Yeah, long-awaited RFP, and thanks to Alex for advancing that ball down the field. So Alex, I don't know if you want to talk about the only proposal we've got, but I'm sure the select board would love to hear about it.
Yeah.
Sure. Yep, it is the only proposal that we received. We did actually have quite a few folks who actually signed up initially for information on the RFP. It was actually about 10 unique entities. But, at the end of the day, this was the only proposal we received after 30 days of being open. And, in short, Orifal is going to do relatively the same thing they did with the house. They plan to demo it. They're aware there's likely some hazardous materials in the building materials just because of the age of the building, some of the shingles and asbestos and such. And they just generally plan to change it back to open space and green lawn space, same as what they've done previously. So
Great. Yeah.
And there were some strange things about this little piece of land, one of which is it's sort of
Yes.
landlocked. It had an easement, if I understand correctly. We had to go out and assess its value and determine that, it was worth a little more than we could just, I think, 40,000 plus.
Yeah.
And we couldn't just enter into a contract because it was assessed at a higher valuation. So actually, we get an offer that's more than what it was assessed at.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. Cover the RFP, and yeah, it's great. We can we can see it brought back to open space. It'd be great. So any further discussion? All those in favor?
Lee Gilmore, aye.
Tim Hilchey, aye.
Trevor McDaniel, aye. Thank you.
And this will add to our tax rolls
Yes, exactly.
minutely.
Minutely.
Gonna have to make up for the paper that was used for it.
Yeah, 0.184 acres.
I was just gonna say there is a signature page in there if you
Yes.
if you haven't already signed it. Okay.
Let's see. That is not it. Maybe I don't have it.
I don't have it.
It should be. It's just a single page. It should be here.
Oh, is it one of these? Because this is the, oh, I'm trying to think of this one here. Executed instrument dates. Oh, yes, it does say Jewett Ave down the bottom. Okay. And we can all sign, right?
Christopher, use my stamp.
Okay.
Will do.
I don't even know if I have one.
You should.
You should. I'll run and grab it.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, next item is, town administrative updates. And first item is the personnel cost of living adjustment recommendation for fiscal year 2027.
Sure. And Alex, thanks for
Yes,
stopping
thank you,
by.
Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a great night. You're welcome to hang out, but you're also welcome to hang on. Take off.
Yeah. Good night. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Take care.
Happy holidays.
Good night, Alex.
So on Monday, the 15th, had a meeting with the Personnel Board to look at a recommendation for a cost of living adjustment for the fiscal year of 2027. This has been kind of an unusual COLA setting year because normally we have Bureau of Labor Statistics consumer price indices to help guide us, and because the federal government was shut down for 2 months, we don't have those. I think those are going to be released tomorrow. We have a rough idea of what the increase will be, though. It's probably going to be around 3% because inflation has been substantial. And the other consideration, obviously, is just the health insurance situation, which I'll touch on after this, but suffice to say is challenging and is going to pose some challenges for the budget for the town. I recommended a 1% adjustment, understanding that, our select board, our finance committee could very well increase that down the road in the budget development process, or even increase it tonight if they felt so inclined. And so that was the recommendation adopted by the Personnel Board on Monday.
Yeah, I would like to I appreciate looking out for the town's finances and all, but I do think a 2.5. I mean, if you look at the price index, it's 2.8%. If you look at the Northeast index, like you said, it's going to be around 3%. Right now, it's around 2.8, and generally we don't have to vote tonight what that's going to be, but I think what we do need to do is provide guidance to departments as they plan for personnel salaries. And, yes, insurance is more expensive for the town. It's also more expensive for every employee that's here. And over the years, we have more and more employees that are on contracts and have negotiated COLAs. And there's very few people still left that are not on contracts. And so the impact is not as great as like the whole bunch. But I also feel like we should be fair in how we're applying COLAs to all of our employees. And just because they haven't grouped together and formed a union doesn't mean that they should be paid any less of a COLA. So I would recommend at least, while we're developing budgets, to develop a 2.5%, plan right now. And again, over the years as we've done this, we've held off a bit to take a final vote as we saw how all the budgets came in and really what the effect was. And we voted much later in the season on the COLA, but at least for budgeting purposes, to be somewhere in line with our teachers, our highway, our police, everybody else. I think it's just hard for everybody. So I think that's just my 2 cents, but hoping to hear from others.
And just to be clear, there's this is a COLA, then there's also the automatic sort of 2.5% step. So just to be clear, from that, which applies to most employees other than those who
Right.
are stepped out.
Correct. Yep. Unless you're at the top. Yep.
I mean, directionally, early in this game, having a low, I mean, as you say, the schools have already agreed, the police, the DPW hasn't.
That's true.
I don't know if SCEMS is done on a yearly basis at this point.
Yeah, SCEMS is a good question because, they have a class comp of their own now at this point. I believe Josh had an opportunity to review that with the Boo last night.
Yeah, and I think he said he was
Yeah.
kind of waiting to see.
What the town would do.
Yeah. I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'm thinking, and I don't know if it's a good thought or a bad thought, is that whatever signals we can send to people who are starting to do their budgets, that they need to look at it very closely and justify why they want to increase things. That's a good thing, because there's so much uncertainty. And I do think we're going to have to revisit the question of how do we provide health insurance to our employees across the board, because at the moment they pay 35% of the cost, and I'm not sure if that's competitive with other communities in our region. So, there's a lot of uncertainty about this whole question, and I feel more comfortable later in the budget process making these decisions than I do now.
Yeah, I think I agree. I don't think we should vote on a COLA right now, but I kind of feel that I would much rather, cut something of capital, remove something that we plan to do, something that we want to work on versus the pay of our staff.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I agree that we should set that tone for their operating budget outside of salary. Even 2.5 is just barely. It's what the town raises each year. It's kind of a happy. It's kind of where things normally go, and it may be less than what the COLA is at the end of the year for people. But that that's also, we may wind up at 2.
Right,
something
yeah.
like that.
I mean, you could recommend a 2.5.
Just for budgeting.
Yeah.
But I think I agree, Tim, with what we send out in this letter to departments needs to be like, this is not the year to kind of change the drapes.
Absolutely. Yep.
Whatever it might be, until we get further into the year. We are in good shape. We had good free cash. We've been good stewards. I think this whole town, the finance committee especially, helping to guide the town financially. We're in good financial shape to be able to absorb a big hit like we had last year, but how we're going to budget that going forward is going to be hard. Yeah. Blake, do you have any thoughts as well?
The fact that we're not voting on it, I'm fine with whatever we start out with, as long as we can either go up or down on it.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, and if you're trying to send a message to them, maybe it should be 2% instead of 2.5%, and then move up from there or whatever. Like I said, I think that you've got to make sure they understand that we are in trouble with health insurance and that sort of thing, and we're going to have to try to toe the line here as far as the rest of the budget goes. So.
One thing that has come up in my work in Gill is taking a zero-based budget approach. That is always, in a time, year like this, it's not a bad idea to just, maybe take a new approach and build it from the ground up again and see where you land. It doesn't have to be downtown-wide, but if departments are comfortable with doing something like that, that's always
take a fresh start and see where you can
take a fresh look at it.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I definitely agree that it could be a helpful thing, especially in the larger budgets, the $5 million budgets.
Yeah.
those $6 million budgets, you know, to do that periodically.
Yeah.
It's hard to ask them to do it, though. I mean, it's a major undertaking, so, but it may be the best thing we could do for our town going forward is to do these exercises periodically so that, we get ahead of the game as much as you can in this municipal business.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I don't know what that number needs to be. I was thinking 2.5, but I'm okay with 2. I just think,
Well,
I think 1 doesn't cut it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Let's start at 2. Let's give Blake a
Yeah.
benefit of the doubt, since we can go up and down, and
Yep.
we still got some negotiations that are going on that are going to have an impact on this.
Yeah.
So,
Sure. Okay. So consensus is 2 at the moment?
That works. We'll be sending out budget letters likely tomorrow or Friday to
Great.
department heads.
Okay.
And then the next item is just about health insurance. So 2 updates. One, Sarah Kimball, our collector treasurer, and myself had a meeting with some health insurance consultants as well as the schools, just to look at some other options that are out there. We had a Hampshire County Group Insurance Trust Insurance Advisory Committee meeting today. It was a little over 2 hours long, where Hilb Group, their new consultant, got to kind of present on the state of the trust and the state of the market. I think everyone came away from that meeting feeling pretty concerned about where the trust is at. Shelley Pareda said straight up, she just said, we're paycheck to paycheck at this point. The reserves are essentially exhausted. And the GLP-1 change on October 1st has not done the trick in terms of reining in what they're facing. So everyone was kind of cognizant that, okay, this is we're in a very difficult situation.
Okay. It's less encouraging than I was hoping.
I know, I want to be blunt about it because it means that in all likelihood, the trust, in order to continue on for however long that may be, it's going to probably mean a rate increase at the very least. So beyond the 20% and then the other 20% that we've already faced.
We were waiting until January, I think, then Maya was going to come visit with us, I think, or...
Correct. So we're fortunate in that Sarah has really taken the initiative, and back in August she reached out to, or maybe even July, she reached out to Maya. We got them our claims data, so they can give us a quote on some rates in January.
Okay.
Same thing with this other group. We also have provided our claims data to them, so they can give us a quote as well.
Okay.
So we're going to have some options for a kind of parachute if it's needed.
Yep.
But I did just want to stress, the trust is in a very difficult situation.
Okay.
Everyone in this meeting is aware of it.
Yep.
And also just wanted to field if there were any questions from the board at this point.
No, I was
on the
hoping to hear
situation.
hey, we got things under control, and we're going to ride this out. It was close, and it was rough.
I will
here,
say,
but we're
so
gonna be-
Hilb Group, Kate Federoff, our labor council, had recommended them for just to work with the town. They happened to win this contract with Hampshire County Group Insurance Trust. Very good for them.
That's good.
They, everyone's optimistic about the job that they can do. They clearly know their stuff, and they
Yes.
have been through this kind of thing before.
But it's going to take pain again.
But it's a very challenging situation for sure.
Wow. Okay. Well.
Not to end the meeting.
Happy
on a
holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Gloom and doom.
Feel like Scrooge.
what about that open house on January 3rd for the library?
Well, that's right, Tim.
That sounds good. Okay, well, thanks for that update. We do have an unanticipated item here, which is the FY27 Franklin Regional Council of Governments Highway Bid Sign-Off Request. So this would be, I've got a motion here. So this is our annual, we group with FERCog to go out to bid on, cold patch and highway materials and all the stuff that it takes to kind of do DPW work on roads and items. So they pool all of our money together and buying power together to do that. So I move that the Select Board approve the town's participation in the fiscal year 2027 Franklin Regional Council of Governments collective highway bid for products and services and authorize the chair to sign the relevant memorandum.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Again, this is, we do this every year. Looks like that, this will be like in May or so, right?
Correct,
Yeah.
yep.
So it's just it's laying the groundwork and getting the stuff ready so that we will be participating, and we'll get more of the data on what the bids were later. So, all those in favor?
Blake Gilmore, aye.
Tim Mulchi, aye.
Trevor McDaniel, aye. Any other things anybody want to talk about, or?
Nothing on my end at this point, unless the board has questions about any ongoing projects or,
No, just nice seeing the walls go up next door.
oh yeah, it's exciting.
Great work, everybody over there. I know that Tim and you, everybody's been going to these meetings. I have not attended a one, but it's nice to see it all happen. Thank you for the work that you guys all do on that and keeping things rolling. How is the process? Are they on schedule? And
So far on schedule. We're going to have a little walkthrough for the building committee early next month, and also staff, because now you've got walls up and things like that, and so it's kind of easy to see, oh, that's going to be my office. Oh, no, she's going to be over there. Great.
That's
Okay.
great.
So, yeah, we're really excited. It's moving right along.
And it's interesting, the sight lines that you see the architect's thought process. There's a beautiful arched window on the second floor, and when you look into the treasurer's window or you get this beautiful vista.
Nice.
It's just, I think it's going to be a lovely space, and people will be very pleased.
Similar to the library, when you're in that and you're looking back at the old building with the nice, everything kind of got opened up after the remodel, and you get that old beautiful architecture. So
And,
that's great.
got the second floor baseball viewing,
Yes.
for the kids, and the grandparents can be in there, and,
Yeah. When it's rainy
when
and
it's-
there's soccer's going on, they can be
Yeah,
where it's nice and warm.
I mean, I know.
It's
Yeah.
outside. Good. Okay, well, again, wish you all a very wonderful holiday season, and we have a Board of Health meeting tomorrow. Should be short, but other than that, we'll see everybody. Do we have a meeting before?
Nope.
next
Yeah, we're gonna-
January? July. Sorry.
Whatever.
Wishful
No, I think
thinking.
we're going to skip
January.
the New Year's Eve meeting, and we're going to move right to 2026. So January 7th is our next meeting.
Sounds great. I hope everybody has a nice time, and thank you for all the work you do all year, keeping us moving. So, all right. A motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Blake Gilmore, aye.
Tim Mulchi, aye.
Trevor McDaniel, aye. Thank you for coming, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Have a
Bruce.
great
Thanks,
night.
Peter.